Well, hello, fellow traveler. I have a very special message coming in for you all tonight from FAERIE. This is quite a different portal report than we usually do. And of course, the introduction of this energy will start to flow into your awareness over the next 72 hours. Flow into your awareness as if carried like petals upon a soft breeze. That's how the energy is coming through. And there's a very special message that is attached to what I'm delivering to you tonight. And it's meant to open you up to a very rare experience, a magic that you are being invited to tap. But it does require that you arrive into a space of receptivity in order for you to be able to open the door that reveals all of the mysteries that are held within the space of the spirit of the wood. Today was kind of an overcast day. We had a little bit of rain out here. And I was looking out the window and I saw all the blossoms on the cherry tree out there that looked just so beautiful and dewy and soft. And there was just this contrast between the steely gray sky and all the stormy clouds, and they were drenched with the recent rainfall. And as I was looking at the cherry blossoms, they started to kind of sway and dance for me. And I heard, softness is the key. Softness is the key. So there's a doorway that's opening up into the heart of FAERIE. And in order to gain entry and access the gift of magic that's there for you now, softness is the key. It's softness that will allow you entry. This is not a magic that can be accessed by force. To try to force your way into the domain of FAERIE will bar the way to you. There's something about giving yourself over to that song of ecstasis, that one note that ripples through the Oran Moor and activates the singers of creation as they're wanting to be expressed to you. And since the cherry blossoms came in, it really took me to the heart of a different tradition with its own relation to the heart of FAERIE. And I was looking at this through the lens of Shinto belief. And in Shinto belief, these spirits that embody the trees are known as kami tree spirits. They're also referred to as the kodama, and they're considered like an echo of the spirit of the wood. And these spirits are found within Shinboku, sacred trees. These sacred trees house these spirits, and these spirits are an animistic force. They have personality. They have expression that humans can relate to if they reveal themselves to you. And sometimes they do come as manifestations in human form. And when they do, they usually appear as elders. They may come in as a crone, or they may come in as a sage or a wise old wizard. And there's something about the exchange that feels a little otherworldly. And there's some piece of wisdom that comes through there that you're meant to tuck in your pocket for use at a later time when you need it most, when you need guidance on the path, because often that's how these spirits do come through. They are the embodiment of the spirit of the wood. They're called Kuku-Nochi-No-Kami. And when they show themselves as guides to you, and they do appear, and sometimes you see them in the trees themselves. You can see the faces that emerge through the trees. And these particular tree spirits that I'm speaking about are specifically connected to cherry blossom trees. And it's just so fitting for this medicine to come in at this time because they're very much associated with spring season, cherry blossoms. And they hold a very special magic, a very special medicine. It's so closely related to Kachina medicine. Kachina medicine is that feminine creative force that ripens at this time. It is the creative force that sets a new cycle in motion and causes all things to grow anew. And it's very deeply connected to butterfly medicine. Many associate Kachina medicine with butterfly maiden. And so it also speaks of cycles of transformation and that evolutionary process. And so closely integrated with the medicine of cherry blossoms, because cherry blossoms also hold that magic, the magic of fleeting beauty, which is the magic that came in as one of the Sabian symbols, as a means of expansion, where it was about studying the butterfly to understand what does it mean to transform, and really understanding the power of the transitory nature of each transformational stage, and also the beauty in each of those stages of unfoldment. This is very much about honoring the temporal nature of reality and understanding how that temporal nature also creates a sense of poignancy. It gives depth and richness of meaning to each individual stage of evolution. The magic of cherry blossoms is all about new beginnings, and they're excellent for clearing away, lifting heavy energy, shadowy energy, but they don't do it through force. They don't do it through aggressive means. It doesn't require any kind of hostile stance or barricading yourself from intrusive forces. Instead, it's more this beautiful yielding and softening. It's the recognition of the beauty that calls the light into the darkness, that wards against any kind of aggressive force that may come your way. They help to remove stagnant energy and allow you to really root yourself in the present moment and see how potent that magic is, to recognize the beauty in every moment. And it's only with that kind of presence that you're going to be able to capture this special magical gift that's being passed on to you. And so over the next 72 hours, Fairy is asking you to soften into the moment, to soften into the moment and find the fleeting beauty there, and to use that as your point of focus. And as you soften into that point of focus, as you soften your gaze into that point of focus, the world of fairy will open up to you and share its magic with you. This is also the magic of rebirth, and it's the magic of road opening. And in many different traditions, in root work traditions, often cherry blossoms are used along with different citrus fruits. Orange is very common, not orange blossom, but actually orange itself. I like mandarin because it's real sweet. It's real sweet and real juicy, and that invokes this kind of road opening where it's not just clearing all the flotsam and jetsam from the waterway, but it's actually really invoking that sweet nectar of life. It's blessing up the road ahead, and this is the kind of clearing work that we're being called to do. And there's many ways that you can do that road opening work. You certainly can blend oil essences of cherry blossom and mandarin or other orange oil or other citrus oils as well. If you want a little bit more intensity, you can bring in citronella, you can bring in lemon oil, and you can mix these together and you can use them as dressings for your candles. Or you can brew this up on your stove as a simmering potpourri, clear the air in your environment, and use the water afterwards as floor washes to cleanse away the old stagnant energy. You can also cool it and you can use it as a crown pour over, or you may want to infuse these different essences, a little orange peel, a little lemon peel, a little fallen cherry blossoms into your moon water that you build with that flower moon that comes in on May 1st on Beltane, when we have the energies of the masculine and the feminine merging together in that sweetness and synergy with that full flower moon in Scorpio. It would be a beautiful way to work the magic of this energy. And as always, trust your own magic. Trust how it speaks to you, but you're being asked to connect with this quality of cherry blossoms, but also not just the blossom itself, but the roots of it, the roots of that special fleeting beauty magic that is found in the tree and the spirit that dwells within that tree, the Kuku-Nochi-No-Kami. These tree spirits are warding spirits, and they are guardians of the forest. They protect the forest and all the inhabitants of the forest. They also hold all the magical secrets that are to be found there. And sometimes they do share those secrets with ones who respect the wood and enter that domain in a spirit of treading softly with an open heart. So you might want to connect with a tree over these next 72 hours, and a cherry blossom tree if you can find one, because it's a very special kind of medicine. Now, these tree spirits, we know they can come as manifestations of elders, elderly people, to pass on a word of wisdom, a little something to put in your mojo bag to help you along your road, maybe to help clear your path. So you might have an interesting encounter as you open up to this medicine over the next 72 hours. They also can move from tree to tree. And when you are in the wood, if you ever have that feeling like you're not alone, even though you know there's no other humans there and it's just you, it's usually the spirits of the tree that are keeping an eye on you, and they're moving along the pathway with you. In many different areas, you will hear people talk about this, about being in the wood and feeling like they're being watched. In the Appalachians, they call it the Watchers. And this is that kind of energy. It is a formidable energy. It always kind of makes me laugh when I hear people speak sort of flippantly about fairy, like, oh, it's not all sunshine and rainbows and fairy. Fairy are fierce. Fairy are feral. They're formidable energies. They're energies that hold very potent, powerful magic. They hold a very special magic that if it's not respected, and if the elements are not respected, and if the animals are not respected, well, they'll spoil all your crops. They will steal your harvest from you to teach you a lesson. And tree spirits in particular, if you disrespect their domain, they can show up to you in your dreams to give you a fierce warning. So this is some formidable energy. It's not to be taken lightly. Nature is both kind and cruel. It's gentle and it's fierce. And this is about getting back to the roots of nature and really respecting the power that's there, and how we should tread softly and with open hearts, because we have so much to learn there that we lost long ago. Now, if you don't see them, you may hear them when they're nearby. And often it's said these tree spirits, the spirit of the wood, can be heard in sort of a rattling sound, almost like the rattling of bones. And you can hear this when they're drawing near to you. It's nothing to fear if the heart is pure. And this is what's most essential to know here. Now, the ancients held that these trees that house these spirits usually are old growth trees. They've been around 100 years or longer, and you can feel it. You know, when you're in the presence of a tree spirit, you can feel it. And if you're not familiar with this, the more you give yourself the opportunity to connect with the trees, the more they're going to reveal themselves to you. You will see their faces within the wood. You will see their animated characters present themselves to you. And if you tune in to your inner sense of hearing, you'll also receive guidance from them. And so this energy is coming through. And there's something about them coming in at this time to help root us and to help us release all the heaviness we're holding, to help us open up to a very special magic that's ready to get rooted in our life through softness. You cannot enter through their doorway of transformation without softness. Okay, softness is the key that opens the portal to fairy and to interaction with the Kuku-Nochi-No-Kami. Okay, so we're going to open up here with the Fairy Tarot. I'm only working with the major arcana here because I really want to understand in terms of that hero's journey that begins with the Fool, which is very much connected to the spirit of cherry blossom magic. It is that exuberance of the Fool. It's the enthusiasm of the Fool, the new beginnings and all the optimism and all the possibility. Where are we at? What are they trying to teach us here? Just saw 17 on the clock. Maybe they're trying to help us find the star. And that's quite an interesting point of meditation there too. Because if you look in the center of a cherry blossom, you will see a star there. So there's something really about connecting with that. And it was 17:17 on the clock. That could provide some kind of breakthrough in your consciousness. If you can focus on a cherry blossom and really meditate on the star in its center, you may have an awakening moment where the veil parts and you actually might see into the heart of fairy if that's something you've never experienced before. And just be receptive to what comes through and trust what you hear. Trust the guidance as it comes through to you. There's something about that that is very important as you connect to fairy, getting just back to that really pure space, that you were able to enter that space of openness and imagination and optimism and belief that anything is possible, that really does allow you to start to tap into the heart of the magic that they have to offer and the strengthening and the bolstering that comes through forming that connection with nature, right? It's a really beautiful message, the way it came in, and I want to see what part of the hero's journey are they here to support us with. So I'm going to just get us an archetype to work with through the major arcana, through the lens of the Fairy Tarot, because I really love how this particular deck illuminates the different major arcana stages of development, and I think it's perfect for this download. Let's see what we got here. I love this here. It's leading us up to that full flower moon with the moon here. And you see, this is that Scorpio. It's already like a nod to Scorpio here, that Scorpio flower moon. There is this beautiful sort of nostalgic quality coming through with this moon. It's taking you back to a time so you can access memory long forgotten, from a time when you were really young, but not the heavy stuff. Not all the stuff you've been healing and integrating, but something that is more playful, more spirited. And it wants to point something out to you that will come in with the ripening of that full moon, okay? So it is a little bit of magic that wants to weave its way into your world. And that came out very quickly. So this is the archetype we're working with here. Ooh. the High Priestess. Oh, how beautiful. Look at the star in the center of her chest, you see, opening up the pathway to fairy, the pathway to the elven star, which is forged through the heart. And there's so much magic you are going to gain here. Something that is very special just for you. And it's a thing of beauty that opens you up to eyes of wonder that allow you to see more of the beauty in the world. And this is the thing about this kind of beauty. The more that you recognize it, the more it multiplies. It's something that you can't capture except for a flicker in time. But every time that you are able to recognize that beauty in the moment, it seeds something in the quantum field, and that multiplies, and it starts to weave its way into your earthly reality in such a way that it opens the road to a whole new dimension of experience that maybe you've never tapped into before. And even if you are quite familiar with the realm of fairy, there's something more they want to share with you. Something that you can put in your grimoire. Something that has everlasting value here. And it is also a way to spiritually cleanse. This recognizing the beauty. They really want you to understand that if you're dealing with any kind of opposing force that does feel like it has some level of aggression or malevolent intent, you really need to understand that it's not about fighting fire with fire. It's about softening. It is almost like that quality of martial arts when we're looking at judo, where you work with the momentum, and it is invoking that spirit of the tree medicine, where the tree is strong, the tree is rooted, the tree is grounded in its own knowledge, and also the strength of its ancestors, which is another thing that comes in with the Kuku-Nochi-No-Kami. They're very much connected to the other world. They're very much connected to the ancestral realms as well. And so this is about remember the grounding. Remember the grounding that you stand upon, the grounding of the road that was forged for you by all those who came before you, and all the wisdom that comes through your bloodline. But it's not just that. We look at trees and they can experience gales and tremendous forces of nature, and they don't push against it. Much like judo, they give over to it. And this is what gives them their resilience. They don't become hard. They don't become fierce and formidable and push back. That's not their strength. Their strength is in being able to just yield and flow with the force. And so it passes over them. It passes over them. And so there's something about this coming in as a means for you to address any area where you do feel like you're dealing with some kind of stagnant, heavy, shadowy energy that's clinging to you, or where you do feel like you have some kind of targeted, aggressive energy coming at you, or where you do feel like something is entering into your sphere of influence that you don't want there. This is the key, is through invoking this softness, meditating on softness. And there's many different ways that you can do this. You could sit and rest with a tree and enter that space of communion where you really merge your root. You merge your root chakra with the roots of the tree, and especially a cherry blossom tree, if you can find one. And allow it to teach you that softness. And maybe you begin by seeing a cherry blossom starting to bloom within your heart. And then you allow that cherry blossom to emit a very soft pink or soft white auric field that starts to surround you. And notice how that shifts where you're at, what you were feeling before, how it enters you into a whole new energetic flow. Okay? So yes, there's a special magic that we're supposed to learn here. It is to invoke more beauty, and it's also to cleanse away the heavy energies so the path can be blessed up ahead. And it's an introduction to the Elven Star. It's entry into the direction of the Elven Star that is the spirit of the wood, that teaches you how to transform with this kind of gentle strength. Okay, beautiful. So you might want to use the High Priestess as your point of focus. And maybe you normally see the High Priestess in more of a kind of fierce sort of way, right? But there's a different quality to this High Priestess here, you see? And there's something about this too. You might even want to envision that star at the center of the cherry blossom being at the center of your heart. And as you surround yourself with that soft pink, soft white, filtered auric field, you might want to see that star that's in the center of the cherry blossom really build its light within your heart to be a guiding force, almost like that star, that Merkaba that is in the center of the lantern of the hermit that is the guiding light for the way forward. There's something about this, but it will come through differently for each of you. This is really about trusting your own magic and how it comes through, but it's through entering this meditative space. But you might want to really work with the archetype of the High Priestess in terms of this particular medicine. It's really to enter you into that waterway. It's to help you trust your own intuition. It's to help you trust your own magic. It's to help you transmute the energy of your time in the underworld, integrating the shadow. So you can now surface with that energy of spring like core, where everything grows and blossoms and is born anew. It's about entering the rebirth of the Venusian energy and seeing the beauty that is to be found now and recognizing that it's so rare, this beauty. It's so precious when you recognize it, that just the recognition of it, just the acknowledgement of it, that is something in and of itself that helps to build your magic, build your personal magic, Sarah. Okay. I also want to get a special message here from the Paulina Tarot, which is my fairy tarot. Look at this. Judgment. You see? It's like the wood wants to hold us, wants to cradle us, wants to have us rest for a spell and to just receive this magic that wants to weave its way into our world. All we need to do is open up ourselves to be receptive to it. This message has been coming in quite strongly about having this sense of receptivity. And I do feel like this invitation is coming through because you have achieved a certain point of entry. It's this recognition that you're finding favorable judgment here. There is some very deep lessons that you've integrated, and now you're ready to hold a new kind of magic. You're ready to enter a new level of study here. And in order to receive this, it's not about you striving more. It's more about really letting go, giving over, and allowing this energy to just start to weave into your heart space. But in order for that to happen, we got to clear the road to the heart, you know? We have to clear the road to the heart. So let's see what else Fairy wants us to know about this magic they want to reveal to us. Now, of course, this is energy that will start to introduce itself over the next 72 hours. But this will play out over time. And there are no time limits on these reads. But I've seen most often you'll really start to see the full expression of what comes in here within 3 to 6 months. Tends to be the usual mark point. But there's even times where a couple years down the road, these downloads, they come back around, and they're very much connecting points. They're like touchstones that help to line our path of evolution on the spiritual road we're forging. So just open yourself up to what wants to come through in these first 72 hours and look at it as a seed of potential that is really wanting to be planted and nurtured by you, okay? And then just open up to the experience and watch it unfold. And this is the next 72 hours from whenever you receive this download, okay? Even if you come to this many moons after the full flower moon, it's okay. There's still the essence of that full flower moon that's coming in with this download, right? Whenever you receive it, it's right on time. So let's see what Fairy want to tell us. Yeah, see? There's gifts that they want to share with us. It really is invoking that quality of Gebo. Gebo, the rune of gifts. Gifts that are inherited. Gifts that come through your bloodline. It is that ancestral energy. In some traditions, they will call that your Ashe. It is what makes you uniquely you. It's your pure soul's essence. And they are your empowerments. And you already hold a lot of these things, but you don't recognize them. You don't see them. And Fairy wants you to see them. Fairy wants to reveal these things to you, but also wants to add to that mojo bag, you could say, and reveal new things to you, unearth hidden treasures for you, grant you special gifts that transform your reality. But they really need you to remove the blocks around your heart in order for this to come in. You need to soften to let this in. It's almost as if there's a holding of the blessings at bay because there's a fear or a timidity of opening up the heart space again, okay? So this is when we can get in our own way, and that's what they're really helping us with. They're helping us move into this effortless flow. Look at the butterfly medicine there. You see, we're so ready to take flight with the Eight of Wands. This has been coming in very strongly. And we know this was going to be coming in with the Aries new moon. And it has not disappointed. It is go time. So there's so much that's going to start to be revealed to you. But in order for you to get those signposts and synchronicities and know the next step on your path, you have to show up to receive it. You have to be in that space of receptivity. It requires a different kind of hearing. It requires a different kind of sight. It requires a different kind of openness. And it absolutely needs you to be present, and for you to dismantle the blocks, whether those are coming through your skepticism, your belief systems, your pessimism, your sense of distraction, or just the heaviness you've been holding on to. Create a space, a presence for the presence of these gifts to come on through for you. And if you tap into this, you'll find that these gifts, these blessings, these signposts, these synchronicities, they are going to multiply. They're going to come at you with so much quickness and precision that you'll feel as if the road's been there all along. How could you miss it? In fact, a road can appear for you out of nowhere. You can find your way through the dark wood to the clearing, working with this energy. So big movement here. Transformation, creative energy weaving through your world. So you can root something that really endures here with the King of Pentacles. Really beautiful energy. Okay, well, what is moving forward here, Fairy? Can you give us a clue? This is also you traveling quickly, swiftly, traveling around the world and back again in the blink of an eye through the realm of Fairy, where time can be kind of an elusive thing. Yes. I mean, there is a certain story that is ready to open here. There's a new contract that's being formed, you could say. There are certain guidelines that must be followed as you're entering into Fairy. You really do want to do this respectfully, so be mindful of this, okay? Be mindful of this. If you're going to work with this energy, make sure that you do so respectfully and not flippantly, okay? Just for your own benefit, because you will be held to accountability. They will hold you to the fire if you sort of treat it like It's just something to be played with and don't really understand the strength and power of what they're offering you here. And the crossing energy, look, the Empress, do you see? If you allow yourself to enter this space, oh, how your garden will grow. How your garden will grow. That is the rebirth of Venus energy, if I've ever seen it. Very beautiful. Phoenix rising. Ooh. And this Phoenix is holding a key. Ooh. So you're going to gain a very special key here that opens you up to this potential of the Empress. That jaguar medicine hanging out back there. Secrets, access to secret things that will make your garden grow. Wow, that is so potent. I love that. Look at that. And I look at that energy, right? We got the High Priestess. We got the Empress. 5, the Hierophant. And when we look at the Hierophant in traditional tarot, there's those crossed keys, right? And they do form the symbol of Gabo. So this is beautiful. It's road opening energy. It's absolutely the rebirth of Venus. And there's a lot of beauty that's going to start to grow in your life. See, it gets seeded out in that quantum field, but you start to see your blessings multiply. And where you were moving through territory where it felt like it was really hard to gain momentum or things were stagnant, all of a sudden things are happening faster than you expected. Faster than you expected. But again, you know, just remember, just remember when you enter their domain, you need to tread softly, respectfully, okay? Don't treat it flippantly. Don't play and toy with the energy like it's Tinkerbell, because they'll teach you that it's not. Believe me, they will. And if you don't believe me, do some serious research into fairy. Look into the roots of fairy. Educate yourself about it, and you'll find that it isn't anything to be played with. And so I kind of always have a little moment of a chuckle to myself when I hear people talk about fairy like that, because they think it's something that's just real sort of childish and playful and sugary sweet, and it really isn't. It really isn't. It's very fierce. It's very formidable, you know, very formidable. And if you've ever had the opportunity to actually see fairy manifest, if you've ever seen a fairy, it's not what you expect. It really isn't what you expect. I've had an encounter once, and it was unlike anything I ever anticipated. Very, very wild, very feral, very intense energy, all right? So just be mindful of that, because this piece is wanting to come in. Let me do a cut of the deck here to see what we got. Look at this, though. If you work in partnership with your tree, there's so many blessings that come in. 10 of Cups. It's such a beautiful message, and it's all about working in partnership with fairy. See, they want you to work with them. There might be some kind of calling you're being asked to rise to here. It may even be that they want you to work in partnership with them, to be a guardian of the wood, to be a guardian of the natural spaces, or to help people reconnect with the wild places within themselves, to help people remember what they've forgotten. There may be something very special that's being activated in you if you were drawn to this message, because I don't think this is something that's going to speak to everybody. But if you were drawn to this, there may be a very special calling that you're being asked to rise up to. And it's something about really teaming forces with fairy, where you're being asked to also ward the wood and the secrets and the magic that it holds. And that's how the blessings come through, you know? That's how the blessings come through. There's some kind of happiness here. Some kind of happiness here. It's really beautiful, but just remember the contract, okay? Just know what you're signing up for, okay? If you take them up on their offer, you know, don't treat it lightly, because it's very special to be chosen to work with this kind of magic. I want to get out the Infinite Tarot and just see what elementals might be assisting us with this. Well, it is assisting us with new beginnings, new births, and this is the energy of Earth. So yeah, you are being asked to partner with the Earth to birth something new. Like, you're part of a very special collective of people that are here to be stewards of the Earth and to bring back the wisdom of the old ways that are about connecting with the Earth, preserving the Earth and the magic that the Earth holds. And so there is something you're being charged with here, and it's really about you waking up to this title that you're being given here. Interesting. It is about working in partnership with fairies. So let's see what other elemental magics are coming in here. Also, I think it's really important to work with that earthing quality to get grounded as you're entering into this sphere. Because though fairy does deal with the earthly domain, that energy can be very expansive. Very expansive. And especially if you've ever been spirited away, you know how wonky things can get with time. With fairy, you can lose time. Time can speed up, time can slow down. Sometimes you can get caught in those liminal spaces, and you can get caught up in the realm of fairy, and they keep you there for a certain amount of time until they're ready to release you. And usually that's so you can grok a certain lesson, or you can gain a particular insight, or if you're flippant with them, they may do it to teach you a lesson. So there is something about this too. You might find interesting things happening in relation to the passage of time, right? That can also be a clue that you're starting to enter into fairy sight, fairy awareness, fairy sentience, okay? It is a whole different kind of vibe. I think a lot of you that are tuning into this are already quite familiar with this, so it's nothing that's going to seem unusual to you. Right? Okay, let's see what other elemental magics we might be working with here. Wow, look, it is really like, it's really coming in that we're meant to partner with fairy to birth a new awareness. You're to play a key role. 43 on the clock, 7 energy. You're part of what moves the magic forward in the world. You're a vessel for it. And you hold a part in the transformation that's happening here, that's to move us into greater communion with the earth and its secrets. Wow. And this enters us into the waterway. We're moving through this energy right now. You see, it got initiated with the new moon, and we're currently in this space where we're immersed in that kind of like dream time energy. We're preparing for the birth. And there is this like playfulness that wants to come in here with the dolphin medicine. And it's to awaken the new vision, also coming in with 5 of water, that's going to arrive with that full moon. Do you see? That's the initiatory gateway with that full flower moon. The vision is revealed to us. We see into the heart of fairy, and we find our way through. We gain entry. So very visionary experience here. 5 of water. It's like, yes, yes. If you enter into this respectfully, you are going to have an experience. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. You're going to have an experience. And there's something that is going to be like a key that unlocks your heart, and it opens you up to so many gifts. And these aren't gifts that are just perceived in more of a visionary sort of magical kind of awareness. It's also something that you actually see it manifesting in your earthly reality here. There's blessings that come with this. You see, look at the mother water here. Do you see? The receptivity, the resting, the listening. This is required. You have to be able to enter into that sort of dreamy, kind of open, relaxed flow. And that's when you will find the way through. Look at that high ace of earth. It roots the transformation within you. And this builds the light of your dawn. So really cool energy here. Looks like earth energy, water energy. We're getting what we need to nurture the growth in our material reality. Let me do a cut of the deck here and see what we got. I mean, earth family. This is like a call. It's a call to the stewards to come forward and actually partner with the earth and bring about this awareness and this healing. So all of you are being gathered right now who felt drawn to this, to awaken to this magic, because it's all about birthing something new with Mother Earth here. Earth family, look at that. Earth family, everything that's needed to nurture the new collective consciousness and reconnect us with the wisdom that was lost. The wisdom that was lost. Really powerful. Okay, one more card just to cap this off. I want to bring in the White Light Oracle here. And just get one card, since it works with the Pathfinder medicine, to help us understand the pathway to really open ourselves up to the full breadth of this experience that's on offer for us, and what it's here to teach us and what it's here to show us. I mean, pretty clear indications coming through, but let's just get another layer of understanding. I'm just going to get one of these Pathfinder cards through the White Light Oracle here. Since we're navigating the territory of the wood and we're navigating that point of the Elven Star, which is a southern point on the Elven Star. It's a southwestern point on the Elven Star, so very much connected to the element of water, but also fire. So it is that alchemical point. It's temperance. Okay. Let's see. What's coming through here? See? It's all what is being built up in the heart space that's meant to come through you, but it needs to open up for you to receive it. So let's see what's coming through. Okay. Makes sense. Coming in with the Guardian of the West, coming in with the Bear. And this is about opening up to that visionary state. It's through activating the pineal gland. It's through entering into a state of meditation. This kind of internal softening, receptivity, and deep listening. And this will open you up to the protection you need and the strength that you need, and also the medicines you need to really transform the element of water, to really be able to tap into that conductivity, to be able to tap into these sources of nourishment. Also, I feel really to activate the magic of the water, to learn how to understand the voice of the waters and work with them for transmutation, even as you're merging that energy with the fire. This is going to bring about some real potent transformation. But again, when we look at bear medicine is not about using force. I mean, certainly bear medicine is protective in nature, but when you're working with bear medicine, it is about that ability to enter into a different state of consciousness through internal focus and allowing the message to be received. So you do understand what's worth protecting, what's worth warding here, what's worth being a guardian of here. It's like entering the cave so you can receive all the knowledge that wants to come through there before you really emerge with it to share it with others. And you might want to work with this Hertz frequency here, 396 degrees Hertz. It also makes me think of Virgo, because Virgo is associated with the bear on the medicine wheel. And currently we have Virgo as the hermit down in the south node. So there is something about turning within here, because there's an essential piece of understanding, wisdom. There's a certain kind of magic and a little bit of light of that guiding star that you need to capture here in order to really light up the road ahead for you. And that is what wants to come through. Beautiful message. Beautiful message. Okay. Enjoy the beauty that's about to be revealed to you. Godspeed.